Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you may be, folks. It's Tom Numbers here on the Tom Numbers Show. And I've got with me today a very exciting guest. And some of you may recognize him, some of you may not. So whichever camp you're in, this will be a fantastic show. It's Dr. Brian Ardis. Dr. Brian, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Tom, I'm excited to be here and be joined with your audiences, and I hope that they enjoy the conversation we're about to have. Should be exciting.
Fantastic. We were just reminiscing. You were over here in the motherland in the UK just a couple of weeks ago and been doing stuff in London and then jotting off around Stonehenge and all over and back in Texas at the home studio, yeah?
I am back at the home studio. Actually, I haven't been home for 4 weeks straight. I've been traveling all over the place and all over the world doing events and speaking, but I was really excited to be home this weekend for the first time in a month.
Fantastic. You're telling me Dallas, Texas, so people, regulars on my show will know what this is, and I've just shared with you what it is and you're fascinated by it. But when I talk about numbers, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. It's the order of the alphabet. But interesting enough, if you do Dallas, Texas, it's 118, which is the very first number that I got. And that comes to the Great Awakening. You can do 11 times 8, that comes to 88 miles per hour. Trump, the word number is 88. There's Scotland, Tartaria, all kinds of fascinating other stuff, you know. So anyway, welcome to the show, Brian. And I wanted to kick off. We'll tell you what, let's do this at the beginning. We'll do it at the end. Where can people find you right now? We're going to put the links in the description, but so people can find you if they're new to you. Where can they find you? Where's the best place to go?
Yeah, great question. Thanks for asking. You can find me at the DRARDIS show.com, which you see behind me.
There it is.
Just take out the period, and the drardisshow.com is where you can find me. Healingfortheages.com is a platform that I created, and we do a lot of work there, educating people with multiple docs. It's me, Dr. Ardis, Dr. Group, Dr. Ely, and Dr. Schmidt here in the United States that once a month actually take audiences through most recent research, what's in the news, health-wise, how we can help you navigate these tumultuous, deceitful waters of health as the narrative continues through mainstream media. That's the purpose of that. And then every year we have an annual conference in Dallas, Texas, physically. This will be our third one coming up in October. And then we have a Make Your Home Healthy Again all-day seminar Saturday, May 26th, if you want to join us. We're going to be taking you through 4 rooms in your home or your apartment and what you need to know, create toxic effects that you don't even know, you may not be aware of, but how it is we keep our family and our loved ones safe at home.
Fantastic. I love that. Talking of home, I've been trying to make my home better in terms of the toxic effects and EMFs and all that stuff. And you probably know a lot about this tech, but I've been helping with a launch just the last couple of weeks, which is the AHA Halo scaler device. It's a mini scaler. And people can click the links below, enter Tom Numbers, you get $30 off, and you can get it shipped anywhere around the world. But I love the principle of being able to clean up your home. I have this in the home, but I take it with me as well. One of the things, because there's a whole myriad of things that you know a lot about, and one of the things I wanted to kick the show off, which piqued my interest, particularly with yourself, Brian, is your thoughts on nicotine. And I was brought up, I'm not a smoker, none of my family smoke. So even just 6 months ago, that would have been absurd for me to even look into that. But I'm open to everything. And I've noticed a lot of big hitters in the world, people like Tucker Carlson, others that I'd like, well, actually, no, you want to really think this thing of nicotine than obviously what you do. So I can tell you, there might be better ways to do it, but in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I was actually experimenting with the pouches. So I was doing that, getting a bit of the buzz, but one of the things you said on a show was you listed all these things it does, and then you got into the things of arthritis, and then you said gout. And I've had that in the past, and it's a horrible thing. And you said, yeah, nicotine will cure all arthritis, including gout. And I was like, okay, I want to ask this man about this. You said it's all been documented, researched. And I wanted to jump in with that, and there'll be a whole bunch of other things that we can springboard off from there, but I wanted to get right into it. And tell us about nicotine, why it's not the enemy in the room that everyone thinks it is, and specifically, how does it cure gout? You talked about nicotine water as well. Should I do that? And how do you do that? I've got the pouches, but tell us more, please. Over
Yes.
to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so yeah, I've become kind of this nicotine guy around the world.
You're the
After
nicotine man, yeah.
at first I was the remdesivir guy worldwide, educating and warning the world about the hospital protocols for COVID and this deadly drug called remdesivir that was being used and touted. And then in the UK, we were making sure everybody knew about midazolam and morphine that they were killing people with. John O'Looney, go follow that great corner. You'll learn more about that if you don't know. But yeah, so then I became the snake venom guy. Now I'm the nicotine guy. And so let's I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here because I can wrap this up really quickly. You ready? Number one, all of you are under the assumption that nicotine only comes from tobacco plants, and it doesn't. So that's number one. Number one is anybody out there who's like, I'm going to turn off this podcast right now. I don't want to hear anything about this dangerous, addictive, cancer-causing drug called nicotine. Nope. Nicotine is not a drug. Nicotine is actually a nutrient. Just like in an orange, you'll find vitamin C. Inside of many, many plants and vegetables is a nutrient called nicotine. And you might be shocked to learn this here on this platform for the first time ever. I was shocked 3 years ago when I learned this. And just so you know, Tom, I was raised in a Mormon religion family.
So was I.
7 generations.
I was as well.
There you go. I'm not in that Mormon church anymore.
Nor am I. I didn't know that about you.
So it's for me to be the nicotine guy. You just got to know this is really funny because my whole life I was told to stay away from tobacco products, stay away from alcohol, stay away from tea, blah, blah. You know. So the irony for me to talk about nicotine is really funny. And for me to be the face of nicotine around the world, me and Tucker now, it's really quite funny. All right. So what you don't know and what I didn't know, because I just avoided tobacco conversations, avoided nicotine study, just never looked at it. Why? We've been inundated to just hear one thing. Nicotine's bad for you. Okay, fine. Nicotine's addictive. Okay, fine. I'll just avoid it. All right. So this is what you don't know and what the governments haven't told you and what Tucker hasn't even told you. So nicotine is found the most in tobacco plants. The second highest containing nicotine plants on earth are all your nightshade vegetables. So eggplants, red tomatoes. Eggplants are number 2. Tomatoes are number 3, highest containing nicotine plants on earth, and green tomatoes have 10 times more nicotine than red ones. So fried green tomatoes, anybody? And then white potatoes, your French fries, your chips there in the UK, your chips. Every white potato is the 4th highest containing nicotine plant on earth. And then it might shock you, every time you've eaten cauliflower, celery, those are also laced with nicotine. But so anybody out there, it's very funny for me to hear people go, I would never give my child or my husband nicotine. I'd go like this. Well, you do every week. Every week you go to a fast food chain, go to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, wherever, Burger King, I don't care. You're getting them potatoes and ketchup, and both of you're getting fries, chips, and ketchup. And all of you are giving your kids and your loved ones double doses of nicotine every day. So don't tell me you don't like nicotine. You love nicotine. All right. So all of you have been using nicotine your whole life. You just didn't know this, that it was in all these plants. I didn't either. I learned this. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2, the biggest worry most people have, Tom, is they're worried about addiction to nicotine. So I need to settle this for you. Nicotine, like vitamin C in an orange, is not addictive. And if it is, it's a very, very minuscule addictive quality. In fact, so much so that the University of Harvard published that nicotine is not what is responsible for tobacco products addictions. They published a research study in 2016. They actually went through 7 million pages from the FDA on the research and development of tobacco products commercially around the world, and found that the FDA since 1970 has allowed 16 man-made chemicals called pyrazines to be added to tobacco products, cigarettes, snuff, to make them highly addictive.
Pyrazines, okay.
And they're spelled Pyrazines. And you can go read the study. Or you can buy my book and read the whole chapter about nicotine called Moving Beyond the COVID-19 Lies. It's an Amazon bestseller right now with me and Melania Trump's book. It's been very popular around the world for the last 5 months.
We'll put the link below for you.
There's a chapter titled Just in the Nicotine of Time.
Huh.
So how does nicotine do this? Those are just a few basic principles around nicotine. So number 1, don't shy away from the nicotine discussion. You're going to eat nicotine this week. You just didn't know it. You've been eating nicotine your whole life. You just didn't know it. Go to medicalnewstoday.com and look up the article last year titled Can Dietary Nicotine Reverse Parkinson's Disease? And it is true, it can. So read the article. But the question should be for you, if you didn't know all those vegetables had nicotine, why would medicalnewstoday.com have an article titled Can Dietary Nicotine Parkinson's? Well, what is dietary nicotine? Tom, do you know anybody that just walks around eating tobacco plants? Or
Not
eating,
yet.
or eating cigarettes, or taking snuff, chomping on it and swallowing it? I don't know anybody that does
I
that.
think Mark Atwood might do, but
They might. So you guys, dietary nicotine comes from the vegetables you're eating. So as Tom alluded earlier about gouty arthritis or gout, I was surprised to learn that over the last 50 years, medical science and research studies know that nicotine can prevent all kinds of neurological diseases and cure many of their symptoms, from Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease. Did you know that nicotine by itself, this nutrient like vitamin C, is immunosupportive? Did you know nicotine as a nutrient is neurologically stimulating? You talked about the buzz you got in your mouth with a pouch. Those pouches have 7 milligrams of nicotine. Do you know how much nicotine's in one cigarette, Tom?
No.
One. You just took like 7 cigarettes at one time. Could you imagine putting 7 cigarettes in your mouth and puffing them all in? You're going to feel that too. So the pouches have 7 milligrams. That's 7 times more than you would get in one cigarette. I've never recommended 7 milligrams to people in a pouch form. I always tell them if you're going to do more than 1 or 3 milligrams, I recommend wearing a patch because it will deliver a small amount of nicotine over a 24-hour period instead of all 7 milligrams in like 5 minutes is in your body.
Yeah. I was trying the patches as well because I saw you talk about that. So I didn't feel too much on the patches, but I felt okay. But then definitely with the pouch, you're suddenly like, whoa.
Yep. So that's a much higher dose really quickly. No different than like taking a 5-hour energy drink. I mean, you're going to get 300 milligrams of caffeine in 5 minutes. But what if I had you just sip it over a 24-hour period and you get the whole caffeine? Your heart's not going to race as much. You will just have higher acuity, but at a lower level for the whole day versus like the next hour, you'll be totally focused and jazzed all day. That's just the difference. A slower release. I like that. Also, it is published. I was shocked to find, Tom, like you mentioned, that nicotine by itself, there's 5 attributes it does in the human body. 4 of them are reversing inflammation and pain throughout the body. Only 1 creates any kind of inflammation. The other 4 it's 4 times more reducing inflammation than it creates any inflammation ever. It is such a powerful anti-inflammatory. They have studied it against psoriatic arthritis, gouty arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, and they have found benefits and reversal of those symptoms and those disease processes in all arthritis forms. It's also been found to help autoimmune disease digestive disorders like ulcerative colitis. It's also been published that nicotine alone can reverse immune Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid dysfunction, a low functioning thyroid. It can reverse that all by itself. It's also been found in the last 4 years that glioblastoma brain tumors can be shrunk by half in 72 hours with only small amounts of nicotine intravenously introduced to the body. Isn't that amazing? I mean, has your oncologist told you first, you need to try nicotine first? Did they tell you that? Well,
they don't tell you anything, do they?
In the last 3 years, I've been introduced to oncologists in Spain and in South America and Latin America, and they are using nicotine and watching it reverse certain neurological cancers, prostate cancers, breast cancers, or even responding to nicotine without. How amazing is that? And they're reporting that to us, and we're interviewing them, and it is very, very thrilling to watch the benefits of this. How about psychological disorders? It's also a preventative and a curative agent for schizophrenia, bipolarism, PTSD. It can improve all those. And then also it's been found a 7 milligram nicotine patch between the shoulder blades. Multiple studies, it's in my book, are found within 7 days if you wear a new 7 milligram nicotine patch every day, that autistic adults, children, and teenagers see massive improvements in their violent outburst and self-inflicting harm behavior. I mean, over a 1 week period, they'll see all of this disappear. Their social skills all improve. And they have found that these average kids, when they follow up on them 16 years later as adults, they're all still wearing them every day because everyone in their life sees the benefit of them wearing nicotine socially.
Oh. So you mentioned Harvard study, and then are there other studies? Are they all in kind of one sector? If I want to look at and drill into the meat of the gout and the arthritis with nicotine, where should I look, and where should the audience look for that, Brian?
Very good. You should go to thedrardisshow.com, go to the resources tab. At the
Yeah.
resources tab, scroll to the bottom, and you will see a presentation I did 2 years ago in January. So not this January, the January before, in Los Angeles, and it's called The Other N-Word. And you can download it for free, the whole PDF and all the PowerPoint slides and all the URL addresses and research links are on there, and screenshots of the title of the papers for you to go download and read and review.
Fantastic. Thank you. That's fantastic. You know, also nicotine water, I guess that's in there as well. But can you tell us a bit about the nicotine water? Because you said that's like another method. And I was looking up pure nicotine. It wasn't the most easy to find. I'm like, if you want to do a foot bath or any other kind of water nicotine, how can people do that?
Yeah, great question. All right, so a couple things. Have you ever heard of La Quinta Columna Research Clinic in Spain?
Don't think I have, not until now.
Okay, so have you ever heard about graphene?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in dental anesthetics? Okay, great. So the research group out of Spain is the one that first published that information. So graph discussion came out of La Quinta Columna's research in Spain. So they took the 5 vials and found high amounts of this substance called graphene, which is widely used as a metal to conduct electricity and to create semiconductors, wiring, and to make human beings or other animals what they call the Internet of Things, connecting you to a cloud. And they use it to do that. So worries of tracking, all kinds of other issues, and transhumanism transhumanistic movement has all been referenced based on this research about this in these shots and being forced on the whole globe. The La Quinta Columna group and one of their research scientists named Rafa Calvin, Rafacalvin, in September of 2024, just like 7 or 8 months ago, published a study because of my claims that you've all seen on social media and in documentaries and from stages, where I said since 2022 that nicotine was the #1 antidote to almost everything called COVID. And it has actually played out to be true and already been confirmed by research studies all over the world that I was right, and that's okay. But the scientists were right that did the research. I just read it to you and had a platform where a lot of people were watching. Otherwise, these research scientists, their information wasn't getting out to the public and being buried in medical journals like normal. So I just made sure you all saw it. It wasn't my research. I just was quoting their research. La Quinta Columna published that they took in September of last year dental anesthetics from around the world, and they dried out the samples over 30 days. So they just opened them, put them on slides, and let all the water evaporate. And they wanted to see what was remaining on the slide after 30 days. And they show you thousands of little Tom numbers was in every dental anesthetic, thousands of them. And they scan over with a video with a microscope, and they show you all of them. Then they decided, Rafa Calvin did, and there's social media clips of this online. Go on TikTok, Twitter, whatever. Type in La Quinta, LAQUINTA, Columna, COLUMNA, Rafa Calvin, nicotine dental video. And you'll pull it up. It's a 3-minute little clip. It's amazing. Rafa Calvin said, I decided to test Dr. Ardis's claims that nicotine could be, or the vaccine. So they took organic tobacco leaf. This answers how you use nicotine water. Your question, Tom. This guy took organic tobacco leaf, boiled water. Once it came to a boil, he put several tobacco leaves into it and steeped it, turned off the boiling heat, and let it steep for 10 minutes. And nicotine leaches out of the plants into the water. And he took a dropper of the water and he videoed it under the microscope. He drops 3 or 4 drops of tobacco water with nicotine in it onto the slides. And if you haven't seen the video, hundreds of millions of people around the world have seen the video, but if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it, because La Quinta Columna's spokesperson narrating the video says This is quite possibly the most important video that the entire world and humanity needs to see. The tobacco plant, when they drop the water that contains nicotine from the tobacco plant, steeped like a tea, as soon as they drop it, the nicotine in the plant goes around any other stuff that's on the medium and just goes to the microchips and eats all of the microchips and dissolves them all and goes one after another. It literally grabs it, pulls it into itself, and then dissolves every single microchip. And they do it over and over and over and over until all the microchips are gone. And across the screen, they write in big letters, "Nicotine destroys nanotech." Now, this has been shown by InfoWars. It's been shown by Stu Peters' outfit. That everybody showed this clip because it was amazing that nicotine by itself from the tobacco plant could be a cure. Dissolve microchips found as nanotech inside dental anesthetics, the same ones they found inside. So how do you use nicotine or tobacco water? You buy organic tobacco leaf. I buy Virginia Flue, Flue, tobacco leaf. I actually bought a whole bunch of it last year, and we once a week take 3 or 4 leaves and steep it and put the water after we strain it out into a jar and put it in the fridge, and it's stable without any kind of citric acid added to it for stabilizing it or preservative. It sits in your fridge for like a whole week, but every week, every 7 days on every Sunday, we make new versions and we use it topically. We have people who, since getting COVID, have AFib, tachycardia, heart arrhythmias. And when we tell them to take tobacco water and to use the tobacco water and do a foot soak, within 5 minutes, we can take every single person out of bradycardia, tachycardia, and AFib within 5 minutes of just putting their feet in tobacco water. The skin is a sponge. It absorbs everything that touches it. And as it brings in the nicotine out of the water into the body, it's also helping to change the rhythm of the heart back to normal. So these are ways in which you use that. We've also used tobacco water topically for women with hair loss since COVID. Lots of people lost their hair during COVID and after COVID. And if you use tobacco water topically, it helps to remove the spike proteins from your hair follicles and helps restore hair growth, just like the nicotine does internally for issues like loss of taste and smell, ringing in your ears, brain fog, and all the other issues they call long COVID.
Wow. Brian, you said
thorough
about
enough, Tom Numbers.
What's that?
Is that thorough enough, Tom Numbers?
That's wonderful. And what would you, so, talking to the patches, do you have a brand that you use yourself that you'd recommend?
I do. So the version I've recommended the most over the last 3 years is 2 brands. So there's actually one out of the UK called Lucy. So their gum we recommend to people. And then Rugby is the patch brand I use personally every day for the last 3 years. Rugby is the only brand I recommend to my audiences because we looked at all the ingredients in the adhesives for all patches and found Rugby was the cleanest. Now, there is one brand I was notified by my audiences just last week that I have not tried yet, but I've ordered them and they're going to come in and their ingredients even look better than Rugby, but I haven't used them yet. I'm not going to talk about those yet until I review them and use them myself. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. I've got a new brand to look at.
I was wondering about that with the adhesives. And I know you seem like you don't take the pouches, but any pouch that you would recommend that's better than others with less stuff? Because I wondered at first, because I'm not, a smoker, but I obviously have, fruit, vegetables and things. So I've been having the nicotine naturally without knowing. But when I got that kind of that hit, I was like, is that other stuff they put in it combined with the nicotine? Is there a purer pouch that someone could take? Others could take,
Yeah, there are specific pouches like Zyn, Z-Y-N.
Yeah.
These pouches are, if I remember right, because I haven't used them, but I've reviewed them in the past. There are certain pouches that they only have on the label. They're actually like chopped up little slivers of the tobacco leaf or stem. Like it's in the pouch. And so you're just sucking on the plant. Zyn's a pretty good brand, but Knick Knack is a brand that we have found is the most clean for a suck-it version of nicotine or derived tobacco nicotine products, NICOTINE. What's amazing is that really just came out a few years ago. We noticed after my Watch the Water documentary came out, but on the label, on the little Knick Knack carton, It says knick-knack across it. The logo for the brand is a snake around a tree branch. I'm like, yeah, that's appropriate. Yeah, the snake venom and nicotine. Yeah, very good. Tobacco plants, just so y'all know, God designed, I believe, years and years and years ago. All the plants, I believe, God created. But I'm just going to tell you, the tobacco plant's been known to human beings to be a very powerful, multifaceted medicinal plant and has been used as a medicine for 5,000 years. And now all of a sudden, King Charles, 2 years ago, in King's speech announces that they are taking action now to start the ban on all nicotine products and tobacco products in England. They will be permanently banned and you won't get access to any tobacco products or nicotine products. He just said 2 years ago, by the year 2030. And he started with a ban for a specific date at which people are born in the UK. Anyone born after January 1st, 2009 can no longer ever buy tobacco products or nicotine products. By the year 2030, there is an agenda to make sure anybody in England, you cannot get access to commercial nicotine or tobacco products by the year 2030. And they aren't the only one. America announced it the same week. Canada did too. Australia did too. New Zealand did too. All on the 4th week after my Watch the Water documentary was released in the middle of a global health crisis. All of these countries announced in unison a new national health agenda for all their countries. We're all going to ban nicotine and tobacco products by the year 2030. And I have to speak to all of you watching. There is a very specific reason they are taking nicotine products, which are not addictive, as you've been told, or cancer causing, as they've been told. And if it is as addictive as they say, I need you to ask yourself, how come your fish and chips doesn't come with a warning sticker that says these chips contain nicotine, an addictive substance? You have to know it is not addictive like they tell you, or else all your nicotine products would have a warning label on them. It's not addictive. You've been lied to. There is a very real reason why the year 2030 is very important to all of the governments of the world, including the industrial nations, to make sure you don't have access to them. Tom, numbers I have learned in the last 3 years. Okay, everybody listening. I have never had a COVID symptom. I've never had a flu symptom. Never had fever chills in the last 4 or 5 years at all. Zero, nada. Never tested positive. I have been wearing a 3.5 sized milligram patch, which they don't sell. I cut them and encourage people to cut them into smaller pieces. I wear a 3.5 milligram rugby patch. I will wear a 3.5 milligram nicotine patch every single day. I've been wearing one every day for 3 years. I will wear one every day the rest of my life. Would you like to know why? I already listed a whole bunch of illnesses and chronic diseases that are benefited from the use of nicotine to prevent them or so that's an added benefit. However, Tom, numbers, I had to know, why do the governments of the world want to stop us all from getting access to nicotine? Notice they're not banning alcohol. Okay, notice they're not doing that. Why are they only singling nicotine? I'll tell you why. The tobacco plant has the most nicotine on earth, so they're going to make sure you don't have access to it. And they're going to get rid of it. Do you want to know why? Smokers were the only group of people, and chronic tobacco users were the only ones that appeared immune to COVID for 5 years now. There's a reason why smokers were the least affected by a respiratory virus that was supposedly deadly. And these people are supposed to have diseased lungs from smoking. Yeah, they all were immune to being hospitalized, and they were the least likely to ever die. So why do I wear a nicotine patch every day for the rest of my life? I've learned something that the governments know and Big Pharma knows. Every virus that they call a virus, polio virus, influenza virus, common cold viruses called coronaviruses, which supposedly are seasonal every year. Tom, numbers, I looked it up over the last 3 years, including HIV and rabies viruses. Every single one of them have a natural antidote called nicotine. Okay, so I have to ask you, why would they want to make sure it's banned from all your countries, especially the industrialized nations? Because your nation is being funded by lobbying powers of big. And if all the chronic illnesses I just named in your interview can be helped, improved, prevented, or cured nicotine and tobacco products, The more nicotine, the better, by the way. I'm not even joking. That's what they publish. Even for MS patients, they say people who use more cigarettes and snuff for longer periods of time have the lowest risk of ever developing MS. Okay, who benefits from selling you MS drugs? The MS drug manufacturers.
Big
There ain't
pharma.
no way on earth they want you knowing nicotine and tobacco products or tobacco water you could do a foot soak in every once or twice a week would prevent MS, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. They don't want you knowing that. So they got to get this medicinal plant off your shelves so they can continue to sell you viral seasons, including the flu and the common cold season. They need you to keep believing you need vaccines to address it. They're going to tell you now that there's 10 new pandemics coming. Bill Gates just announced 10 new pandemics. Rift Valley fever, Ebola, Marburg, bird flu. You know what they all have in common? They're all viruses. And guess what he's the largest investor in? Vaccines for viruses. There's no way on earth they're going to let all countries around the world know about nicotine, have access to nicotine. Now that the lid's been blown off, that nicotine was the preventative agent for COVID that made people never need or be afraid that they didn't get a vaccine. All the smokers in the world were like, why do I need a vaccine? I never got COVID. What is wrong with all you other healthy people that don't smoke? Okay, I wear a 3.5 milligram nicotine patch because nicotine is published to be a cure and a treatment, not a preventative, a curing agent for people who have HIV, rabies, the flu. There's 29 different flu viruses, by the way. All of them target nicotine receptors, and nicotine's a cure. If you actually gave all your children more nightshade vegetables, tomatoes, BLTs, white potatoes, cauliflower, celery, if you gave them more of that every day, there would never be a cold season for your child. There would never be a flu season. And then why would you ever feel the need to get your kid vaccinated? Mm-hmm. This kills the agendas of all pandemics, all seasonal efforts, all CDC schedules for children. It gets in the way of all of them because they're all for viruses. And every virus I've looked up and researched, they know and publish target nicotine receptors, and nicotine is a preventative agent and a treatment for them. This is why by the year 2030, even King Charles was like, I have been told that I need to tell you something. We are going to start banning access to tobacco products for your own good by the year 2030. They're just repeating what their owners and handlers are telling them. And all the leaders of the governments around the world are just listening to their financial backers, and no one is bigger funding governments of the world than Big Pharma. So,
exactly.
Everybody in London, you better start buying organic tobacco seeds and start learning how to grow your own tobacco.
I was going to say, where can we get this? Where can we get the leaves from? So we've got to grow it ourselves, yeah.
You can, absolutely, yeah. And then there will always be farmers, and then you'll have to go like the raw milk narrative. They're like, oh, you got to go sneak around and go talk to farmers at fresh markets. You can't buy it off the store shelves because it's not pasteurized and all the enzymes haven't been destroyed by our technology before you drink it. Yeah, okay. They're going to do the same thing with tobacco in the future. You're going to have to go to like a farmer's market to find your organic tobacco leaf in the UK, unless you all stand up and say, you know what? Enough. You let us eat nightshade vegetables that all have the second highest amount of nicotine on earth. Keep tobacco products here. Y'all protest and make sure they keep it here on the planet. Tucker's doing a great job. Just so you know, I found this amazing. This year, Amazon announced they're going to actually introduce their own nicotine patches. Do you want to know why they're doing that?
Take some of the market.
Because the market is so big and it is exploding around the world. Everybody's buying nicotine, as me and Tucker are talking about it all the time. It's pretty funny. Oh, and Tucker, just to clear this up for everybody, Tucker doesn't talk about the benefits I do about nicotine. He just released his own nicotine pouch company brand. What did he say is the reason he believes that Big is influencing governments to ban nicotine products? Did you hear his interviews?
Not that part. I did see Schumer, Chuck Schumer, come out, I know, in the last year or so, who one of the antichrists, telling everyone how bad nicotine was. So I saw that, and particularly the pouches, like Zyn and other. So I've seen that, but I haven't seen what Tucker said. No.
So Tucker said, he actually goes on an interview and gets a pharmaceutical rep to come in, this pharmaceutical expert, and he goes, so I would like to hear your take on why it is all these governments around the world are banning nicotine and banning tobacco products. And he gives whatever his reason. And then Tucker goes, actually, I think it's because Big Pharma, the pharmaceutical industry, he says they know that nicotine alone in these mint, suckets, patches, gums, these
Yeah.
forms, they know, pharmaceutical industries know that nicotine alone raises a man and woman's testosterone levels and keeps them in a normal range,
He did talk. He did talk about getting a morning wood with Zin. He did
which
say that.
nicotine does. And so why would this hurt the pharmaceutical industry? They
Yeah,
sell
because
billions of
yeah,
dollars worth of hormone replacement therapy,
yeah.
low testosterone, shots and pellets and creams and patches. Yes, this is a huge problem for Big Pharma. So please get rid of all nicotine agents and start banning them. All of you that we own, being America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. Oh, yeah, and King Charles. You're all owned by Big Pharma and they tell you what to say and when in order to keep the money flowing. I get it. You are their employees. I know. I'm sorry. This is their reason. But actually, nicotine does raise testosterone levels and keep them higher in a male. Guess what else it actually stands in the way of Tom numbers for the pharmaceutical companies? Well, Viagra has only been one of the biggest selling drugs ever, and
Yeah.
Cialis. Okay, if you increase testosterone with nicotine foods or patches or suckets, you don't need Viagra or Cialis or any of these early morning wood drugs to keep a libido. This is why it's such a big deal. One, it stands in the way of all it does for viruses because nicotine is an antiviral all by itself 100% of the time. And then number two, it stands in the way of all these drugs that can be prescribed for all the chronic illnesses I just disclosed on this show that are published in research studies. And it stands in the way of the billion-dollar industry called hormone replacement therapy. All in one plant, all nutrient in all these plants. It's amazing.
Wow. You, talking of the pouches, so snus, is that just a more like stronger version of a pouch? Like, is it snus or snuz, the one that pro footballers, soccer players take? You mentioned it, I can't remember the name, but snus or snuz, what's the difference between that and a pouch?
Snuff is what I said.
Snuff, oh, snuff. Snuff.
Snuff is what you dip, right? Just put tobacco
Okay. So it's
or
like the
something
raw
you
tobacco,
suck
just
on.
put it straight in.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you've got pouches of tobacco products or leaf
Yeah.
from the plant you can suck on. You've got mints, you've got gum with nicotine, and you've got patches. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
all
I think there's
nicotine.
one over here, it's probably in the States as well, called Snuz or Snuz or something, and maybe it's snuff, but I know the pro soccer players love it. So earlier, Dr. Ardis, Dr. Brian, I made a joke the other day actually, because you know you're very cerebral in many areas. So I was like, I wonder if he's a time traveler because you got the TARDIS and then you got Doctor Who and then you got Dr. Ardis, and I was like, maybe he is, you know, because he's coming with all this knowledge from somewhere, you know. Anyway, that was. Do you know Doctor Who? Are you familiar with the show?
I know who that is. I haven't watched
Okay.
any Doctor Who
It's
things, but
about
yeah,
time
good
travel, and
time traveler.
he has a police box that is his time machine, and he's able to time travel. It's called the TARDIS. So I was like, ah, Doctor Ardis, Doctor Who, Doctor
That's
Ardis
weird.
might be a time traveler. Anyway, that was just a side thing that came up. But if you know
I
the
just
show,
want,
you know the
I
show.
just want you
So
to know there have been many discussions about time
yeah.
from me to other people for decades, actually. I've
Ah, okay.
actually
So it's soft disclosure, everyone. You heard it here first on the Tom Number Show. He's going to disclose that he's a time traveler. So
the first time I've heard, you just brought it up, but I'll just tell you, I've
yeah,
had this conversation with a lot of people. People would go to me and go, they'd go, man, you sure do seem really intelligent for a lot of topics, and you seem very young. And I'll go, well, I am very young. I mean, for this plane, I am very young.
yeah.
But you've also heard the term, you seem like an old soul. And then there's people that
Yeah.
believe in reincarnation and have lived
Uh-huh.
multiple times, blah, blah, you know. But this is the conversation I've had with people, and I'm not sure how this relates. But people ask me all the time, they're like, is there anything unique to you that just is mysterious to you? And I said, yes. How do I bend time? I said, because I can manipulate time. And I've known it my whole life. And I don't know how I do it. I just say I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time, and then I show up on the minute. Even if I'm running late, left the house late, I'll just tell myself I need to be here at this time, and I'm always there, like on the minute, when I know it's physically impossible. Like, I don't know how I do that. And these other people who have these, I don't know what it is, but other people have these spiritual capabilities will talk about this ability of some people to manipulate time, space and time. And I'm like, well, I don't know much about that, but that is something very common. And it has been multiple discussions again this last week. I've had them with my wife. I've had them with personal coaches that I have and spiritual leaders that I have. And I'm like, it's just odd that it keeps coming up. It's just this thing you'll recognize that he can control. It almost feels like I don't have to, it's not like it's pressing on me 24/7, really concentrating to make sure it happens. No,
Yeah.
I actually just say it. I need to be here by then. I need to be there by then. I need to go there by then. And it doesn't matter what it is. It is always, no matter what time restraints appear will exist, it all just goes away. And then it's just this miraculous, weird thing. And anyway, that's just something that keeps coming up in my life.
Well, there you go. There's this connect. I thought I'd say it. I was like, the
first time
TARDIS.
anybody's ever brought that up, buddy, was you. And the only discussions I've had, and I just had them 2 days ago with my wife, I was like, honey, I don't know how this happens, but I will see what time it is. I'll tell myself I need to be somewhere at a certain time. And I know I cannot make it there, but it doesn't matter. I'll just say it that I will be there by this time. And for some reason, physically, it is impossible. And I don't change anything. It's not like I'm going, I don't have a spaceship that takes me somewhere. I just physically am going there. And for some reason, you can manipulate time. And some people have this gift and this ability to do that. And yep. Anyway, I do believe I have traveled many times.
You're one of the doctors,
different
Dr. Ardis. So talking of time travel, something that you were saying about nicotine being the #1 antidote. Okay. This is how the numbers work. So, and also I'm going to talk about Back to the Future after it with Marty McFly, so time travel again.
I have seen that one.
What's that?
I have seen that one.
You've seen that one? Oh, you'll know the bit I'm going to talk about. So
I get a hold of Michael J. Fox with Parkinson's.
Get him on the nicotine. Get
him on nicotine.
Get him on the nicotine.
Never been told.
If you're watching, MJ, get yourself on the nicotine.
We love you.
We do. He's brilliant. So in numbers, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. So it's the order of the English alphabet, and it's called simple gematria or simple English gematria. So if you do the word nicotine, I'll tell you what the value of that is in a second. Antidote is 88. I said that at the beginning, 88. So Trump is 88. He's an antidote for this system. Mormon, we were both brought, and I think we left it. That's also 88. You have to travel 88 miles per hour. Tartaria is 88. Scotland's 88. Edinburgh's 88. Antidote is 88. You said that nicotine is the #1 antidote. So if you do 88 antidote plus 1, that comes to 89. Guess what the value for the word nicotine is, Dr. Ardis?
I'm going to guess it's 89.
Bang on. It's 89.
Now, where does the +1 come in, though? If you add the 1, what does that do to the word antidote and its value number-wise?
It's just that when you said it, so you could spell the word 1, you could do, but when you said that nicotine is the #1 antidote. So I was like, okay, 1.
Oh,
he's giving me a 1.
Very good.
And he's giving me antidote. 88 antidote plus the 1
antidote. That's awesome. I didn't pick up on that. That's awesome.
That's how it comes. Yeah.
It's, in fact, it's so certain that this is what it is, that, and so powerfully the #1 antidote, that on my homepage at the Dr. Ardis Show, you will see a 3-hour presentation titled Antidote. And it is all about nicotine. And it is, most medical doctors who just watched this a year and a half ago said it is the greatest beginning to end review of how they created this pandemic, what created the symptoms during the pandemic, and what was the data that came forward reviewing all people around the world of how sick, hospitalizations, and death all occurred. The antidote was the most clear review, they said, beginning to end, of the COVID narrative, which is very exciting.
There you go. Antidote 1. 1 antidote.
That's awesome.
It equals 89.
Like, where'd you get the #1 from? Because I said it is the #1 antidote. Very good. Rocking.
There you go. And the numbers have, so that you can get good and bad numbers. All numbers are intrinsically good, but the bad side know it as well. And so what you said in the show is that nicotine, 89, antidote 1, 89, takes out virus. Virus is 89. So it's a,
wow,
really? It's a perfect mathematical inoculation of taking out the virus.
Hold up. Hold on. I have to show you something. This is going to be exciting. Okay. This, you see the date here, the year here, 1771. This is a copyrighted 1771 Latin.
That comes to 88. 17 plus 71 is 88. Yeah.
This is a Latin to English dictionary from England. This is, I have a whole bunch of these. I have 30 of them over a 250-year time span. Here's 1811. This is another Latin to English dictionary. Here's 1880. Latin to English dictionary. I have them all the way to 2025. Sitting over here, I have a whole stack. Almost every decade represented. It's a whole bunch of them. Do you know that since 1771, the first one I just showed you, which is the oldest one I own, do you know that the Latin word virus, okay, for all of you out there who thinks virus is an English word, it is not. The word virus is singularly a Latin word. Do you know what the English translation of the word in Latin virus is and has been known for 254 years now, since this 1771 dictionary? Do you know that in every one of these Latin to English dictionaries for the last 250 years, virus has one single English translation? It either means virus, the word Latin for virus, this is a Latin word. It only has one English translation. It either means poison, comma, especially of snake's venom, or just venom. So in every one of these dictionaries, it reads the word Latin virus means a poison, comma, especially of snake's venom. And now, young man, Tom Numbers and everybody out there. So for all of you out there who are wondering, is that still in all the English dictionaries, even now in Latin English? Yes, even till now, I have them all. They all read the exact same. A virus means poison, comma, especially of snake's venom. Or it reads poison, comma, venom. When you go to the English to Latin translation sides of all these dictionaries, the English word venom that we all know, venom, is an English word. The word in English, venom, has only one Latin translation. Do you want to guess what that one word in 254 years of Latin to English and English to Latin dictionaries is? It's only one word. The word venom in English translates to Latin to mean virus. And it is the only word in every single one of these. So there's a big, huge misnomer going around right now that viruses don't exist. Okay, well, first off, you have to know what the definition of the word virus is. For longer than anyone alive, having these conversations about viruses versus terrain theory, germ theory versus terrain, viruses don't exist. Oh, viruses definitely exist. Virus means poison. Do poisons exist, Tom Numbers? Yes.
Yes.
Does venom exist? Yes.
Yes.
Your question in your brain right now should be this. If the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry are beholding to Latin terminology, which is what they speak, everything is in medical terminology, is Latin. If they've adopted the word virus and spewed that on all of us for all of our lifetimes, my question for you is this. If the word virus literally means poison, comma, venom, I have a question for you, Tom Numbers, and everybody watching this at home. How do they create viral seasons like the flu season and the common cold virus season? If a virus is a poison, comma, especially of snake's venom, and that is exactly what the word virus means, and its only translation into English is venom, I'd like to ask you, how is the influenza virus or the influenza poison, comma, especially of snake's venom, season created?
By design.
How do they spread poisons or venoms around the world to create viral pandemics or seasonal cyclical events? How do they spread venom or poisons around the world to make you sick and then call it a natural occurrence? This is why the vaccine agendas are so important. Sign up for our flu right now so we can inject our poisons that are called viruses into you that you can now shed, transmit, and create contagious bacteria and virus and yeast with all those around you to create the illusion there is a natural transmission of a virus. No, you're all being poisoned, and they're doing it through your air, water, food. That's how they keep it going.
Wow. Talking of the numbers with that, if you do A poison, 89, that comes to virus 89. If you do a venom DNA, that would also be 89 virus, A poison. The Back to the Future part with this about, well, with all of it. So the title of your book about cocaine. So if you've seen Back to the Future 2, there you go. 19 is idea, 19 is DNA if you spell those two words. It's S as well, which is the snake, you know, the venom. Anyway, so in Back to the Future 2, when Marty and Emmett Brown actually 148 in numbers, Emmett Brown, Simple Gematria 148, Donald J. Trump 148, Time Traveler 148. When they go at the beginning of the film and they go forward into the future, you've got this modern landscape in the square in the you know, in Hill Valley. There's a part where a hologram comes out of the cinema billboard and it's Jaws, and it scares Marty for a second, and then he's scared because there's a huge shark coming out, and then he realizes it's fake. But it was Jaws 19. Jaws 19. Now, if you do a bit of translation, not Latin, but literal Italian, if you translate the word Jaws in Italian, comes to Fauci.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've got Jaws 19, Fauci 19, Mr. Dr. COVID told us in that film. And if you spell the word Jaws, Jaws, it comes to 53. If you spell the word COVID, it comes to 53. Jaws 19, Fauci. It's there. It's there, and it takes you back to the 19 again, you know. So it's there in that film. Yeah, it's there. But there's also great codes. There's really positive codes. But they have to, you know, they tell us about those things that were coming up. They even mention quarantine in the third film, where Emmett Brown and his love interest, Clara Clayton, 125, time travel for Clara Clayton. They're looking with a telescope, a golden telescope, not a Bushnell telescope. I always used to think it was a Bushnell telescope, but and she says about how that she caught something. Well, it's one of those things where you can listen to what is being said, and depending what you are saying, you can hear two different things. But she basically says that when she was 11 years old, her father made her quarantine for 3 months. I was like, what? We've just quarantined for 3 months, and the cinemas were shut. Then they opened them after 3 months, and I go and watch in Leicester Square in London all 3 movies of the Back to the Future. I felt like Trump had put them on and said, go and decode those, Tom. And there it was. And I was like, what? So anyway, so the films are laden with it, you know, but 88 miles per hour is time travel. If you do 88 mph, it comes to 125, which literally translates into time travel, which translates into John Kennedy, dark to light, and even 8th Avenue is 125, superhero 125, but 8th Avenue 125 is the street where the New Yorker Hotel is on, where Tesla lived there for the best part of 10 years. So it's all there, you know, it's all there. But
well, don't forget, if you ever do my name, it isn't with an I, Brian.
It's a Y.
It's a Y. So,
should we have a look? Should we see what your name says? Should we have a look?
Brian Ardis. Yeah, I have no idea.
So BRYAN.
I'm learning. And I like this interview because I get to learn.
BRYAN. So Brian is 60. Diamond. Orange, 4. You talked about the fourth. Fourth is 88, Trump. But 4 is 60. Okay, so, and then Ardis, ARDIS. 51 plus 60. That's good, buddy. I'm just going to double check. It's always good to check our work. So ARDIS. So Brian, 60. Ardis, 51. Batman, great. Jasara, QQQ, so 17, 17, 17, so 3 times. Add those together, comes to 111, which comes to perfection, comes to New York. Very good.
You know, it's funny. People call me Batman.
Do they?
Yeah, no, I don't have superheroes I follow or watch or anything, but there are people that reference me as Batman at certain events. They're like, now it's time to get Batman up on the screen. This guy appears he wants to take on all the dark forces like Batman, and he's a real human. Yeah, I'm not some superhero. I'm a real guy. Come on. Anyway, it's funny.
There you go. And also, well, it depends. It's point of reference. So 111 is also illusion. 111 is also computer. So a computer is able to create this. It's an interface to create the hologram that we're in, that we're weaving through. And then some of us, like you said, are able to bend the time. We're able to get numbers. We're able to discover the thing, shift the fabric of reality through this interface of the matrix of the computer and the hologram. Yeah,
getting chills throughout all my whole body. It's awesome. So that may be
you getting the chills.
It's awesome. So I'm getting chills, man. But the creative nature of life, I actually constantly talk about it since I was very young. You can create any life you choose.
Yes.
And it is a very real thing for me. I create all of my future, and I've said to myself, everything I want. I even drew out the house I wanted when I was 20 years old that I wanted to build. I built it. I've lived in it now for the last 7 years. And it is a beautiful, magnificent home. But as a kid, I would have never thought I could have lived in a home like that. But I actually drew it when I was 21 and said, I cannot wait to have this, put it in a folder, been on my shelf. Every few years, I'll look at it and go, I can't wait to have it. You can create whatever life you want. I am very much a creator in the belief that we mentally speaking wise can create any life we want.
I agree 100%.
Oh, can I give you an example?
Yeah. Vision is 88. We've talked about that. Yeah.
All right. So in the world of gematria, is that what it is?
Gematria, yeah. 74, gematria? Yeah.
So in that world, when you're looking at names, like you did Donald J. Trump, do you not do his whole middle name?
You can do all of them. Yeah, you can do all of them. So Donald J. Trump is 148, time traveler. Emmett Brown, 148. Donald Trump is 138. Revaluation is 138. The gold reset, 138.
My middle name is Reed.
138. Say again.
My middle name is Reed. R-E-I-D is my middle name.
R-E-I-D. Let's have a look.
So I'll tell a story while you're doing that. When I was 8 years old, I was in 2nd grade or 3rd grade, and my new teacher of that new year, it was the first day of school. I was a little bright redhead with lots of freckles on my face. My teacher walks over to me, bends down as I'm writing out and filling out a form or doing my assignment. She bends down and she whispers in my ear, I love your freckles. I was the only one in the class that had freckles in Columbus, Georgia. And I looked at her and I went like this. I hate my freckles. Not a joke. She goes, those are angel kisses from heaven. And I said, this is not a joke. I looked at them and I went like this. I wish they'd have kissed somebody else. And I went back down and started writing them, I think. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you would like to hear a compliment about your freckles. I said, no, I hate them. Because when people are looking at me in the eye as an 8-year-old, I could see people looking at all my big freckles on my face. This lady comes around like 30 minutes later and goes, can I tell you a secret? And I said, sure. She goes, did you know you can make your freckles disappear? And I said, how do you do that? And she goes, it's really simple. You go home, you take lemon juice, put it on a rag, pure lemon juice, and wash your face with it twice a day, and then your freckles will disappear. This is not a joke, everybody watching. No one else has ever heard this story but my family members. I couldn't wait to get home out of school. Couldn't wait to get off the bus, run into my kitchen, open the fridge, grab and see my mom's got lemon juice, put it on a rag, wash my face, and I was going to do it every day till they disappeared because I totally believed this adult. When I opened the door and looked at this pure lemon juice bottle, I picked it up, looked at it. Not a joke. This is the exact words that went through my brain. This is so dumb. That's not going to work. And I put it back and I shut the fridge door. This is not a joke. When I tell people you can create anything you want in life, all you got to do is believe it. I literally, Tom Numbers, closed the doors at 8 years old. I was by myself in the house. I put my head on the 2 handles, freezer, fridge side, and I said this out loud. I don't need anything but my own faith to make these freckles disappear off my face. And if in 1 year, all of my freckles will disappear on my face. Well, I want you to know something. I have a younger sister, 6 years younger than me, redhead, freckles all over her face, all over her body. And she's asked me my whole life, where did your freckles go? Within 10 months, all the freckles on my face disappeared. I have zero. I can get sunburned, no red freckles show up. I still have freckles on my shoulders, on my arms, on my thighs, little ones. But all the freckles remained except for these. And I didn't do anything with them. When I say this, I've said my whole life, I'm going to be thin. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be athletic. I'm going to have, great joints, great health. I said I was going to have a great complexion. I don't want any freckles because I want when people to look at me and talk to me, I want them to look in my eyes. I don't want them looking around at freckles like they were doing when I was younger. Anyway, all of them disappeared and I didn't do a flipping thing, but voice it. I said it. I believed it, and they've never come back. My sister to this day is in her 40s, has all these huge red freckles all over. She covers up with makeup. I've never had to do that. She's got the same genes I do, same genetics I do. And still, she never had that moment where she didn't like them. She could cover them up with makeup. This boy here couldn't do it and wouldn't do it. But anyway, those are the kind of things you can do if you actually believe it. This is why the Biology of Belief book by Bruce Lipton is so important. It's why when you are told you can heal, you better believe it. It's why when you're told by your medical doctor you have 6 months to live, if you believe it, if you take what they said and believe it, you'll be dead in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go like this, like so many others do, and go, I'm not dying in 6 months. That's ridiculous. I'm going to go take care of my health, do it naturally on my own. I can beat this. You do. You go beat it, and you become the anomaly. It's amazing. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you. That's the kind of stuff I've done my whole life. I can create anything. I can almost feels like you can almost will anything into existence.
Yeah.
Just like I wanted to with my Remvir information. I said the first day when I called a publicist, I couldn't save my father-in-law's life in the hospital. I am damn set that I'm going to save millions of lives around the world who I've never met by this information. And it has been amazing to watch so many medical professionals from countries around the world walk up to me, call me, text me, and say, do you have any idea the number of people you've saved around the world? And I say, God, I hope so. I'll never know the numbers, but man, everybody around the world that I meet who knows about the information that we did and all the efforts we went to make sure the message was heard, was made, and received. It has saved so many lives around the world. They believe it, and it's been a great honor and a humbling moment to see that kind of come full circle. Like, this is what I want to do. This is why I'm going to do it. And to have people say that you actually did it is a pretty miraculous thing. Very humbling.
That's fantastic, Dr. Brian. Dr. Brian Ardis.
Okay.
I've got your full numbers.
Oh, good. I've never had them. What are they?
So read, R-E-I-D, comes to 36, which comes to law. It comes to the word real. So we're dealing with real things. You just shared the real truth about manifestation and creating our reality. And I'm all into that, and I love that, and I appreciate that you're on that. That's part of your repertoire. So, Doctor is 75, which is magic wand, which is eternal, which is funding, which is north, a true start north. Anyway, so if you do Doctor, well, there's two. We'll do Brian Reed Ardis first. That's what you asked me. That comes to 147. 147 is the trump card. 147 is the frequency. 147 is magic frequency. History, you talk about bending time. History is 114. Frequency is 114. Trump card is 114. If you want to change your history, you change your frequency, and vice versa. And so frequency, vibration, energy, they're all intertwined with this ability to manipulate and shape time and move back and forth and all the rest of it. If you add Doctor, 75, eternal, magic wand. Dr. Brian Reed Ardis comes 222. It's a special number, 222. 1,000 years of peace, 222. Winter White House, 222. Summer White House, 222. It's also the name of the New Yorker hotel I mentioned already. New Yorker hotel is owned by the brand Wyndham. Wyndham is 88. You've got Trump there again. You've got Antidote there again. So if you do Wyndham New Yorker, it comes to 222, which is 1,000 years of peace, which is Dr. Brian read Ardis 222.
That's awesome.
It's there, man. It's there. And there was another question. Frequency. Going back to when you were talking about the aesthetics in teeth. I've not researched this properly, but I've heard it in a couple of areas, and I think it's where we're going. In fact, I know it's one of the things that's coming, if not already here. We've all been drilled with fillings and all the rest of it. Maybe some have been lucky to get out of it, but that's messing with everything that, you know, our bodies. Have you studied or come across things that can enable through frequency or other methods for the teeth to regrow naturally and therefore just pop out those buggers of the fillings? Even wisdom teeth, wisdom. I had to have those taken out to go on a Mormon mission. That was all part of it.
I had to have it assessed to see if I needed them taken out, and I only had 2 of the 4, and they said they're never coming in, so you get to go on your mission without it.
Where did you go?
Fresno, California, English speaking.
I went to Scotland, Edinburgh, Scottish speaking.
Wow, awesome.
What year did you go?
I would have rather gone there, I think. Although I met some cool people in the California area.
What year did you go?
1995 to 1997.
We're similar. So I was 94 to 96. What's your birthday?
November 15th, 1976. Year of the Dragon in China, 1976.
November 15th.
All I know is it's Scorpio and the year of the dragon. Everybody tells me, I'm like, yeah, okay, sounds cool. Sounds cool to be the year of the dragon. I guess some people are born in the year of the goat. I wasn't that guy. I'm the dragon. Okay, bring it.
Well, Dragon's 59, Joker 59. So a Joker card, trump card, you know. Fresno, California's 88. You've had a lot of these 88s for the year round. So, but yeah, frequency, regrowing the teeth. I haven't studied it much, but I've heard it's out there. Any thoughts, any knowledge on that?
Yeah, so I actually started my entire nutritional program in learning and education based around a guy named Dr. Royal Lee. Royal Lee.
Like
Lee.
Raymond Roy, like Royal Rife with the scalar, but Lee, L-E-E. Is that right?
Yep. They were alive in the same period, but not the same person. So Royal Rife was incredible. Love that guy and all of his frequency work and polymorphism is incredible. Love his research. Dr. Royal Lee was actually a dentist in Palmyra, Wisconsin.
What's that?
He started a company called Standard Process, and it is still around these many years later. He was a dentist and went around the world and did mission trips with dentistry and took pictures of aboriginals, third world countries, evaluating their periodontal health, their gum health, dental health, alignment health. And what he found and took pictures all around the world was that those who did not eat the American diet in the 1920s, those third world countries and underdeveloped areas of the world had better dental hygiene than all of us. And the alignment of their teeth were all better in the Aboriginal groups, the native peoples groups, versus those in industrial nations. He surmised and researched all of their diets and realized that it was a mineral vitamin deficiency creating the majority of the periodontal dental cavity issues, misalignment issues we see in industrialized nations. And he created a company called Standard Process to address this issue. And there are frequencies in foods and in minerals and in plants. He created an all organic natural product, a supplement from organic plants called Biodent. And I've used it for years to actually burst cavities. You just chew it every day, couple every day, and you can remineralize teeth using this product called Biodent. So if you can't get access to Biodent, just look it up. Look up Biodent from Standard Process. Look at its supplement facts panels and make sure you get those minerals and vitamins from plants. Start eating them. Or look up on standardprocess.com's website, what are the plants like alfalfa that they derive the derivatives from to make Biodent. Start eating those plants or incorporating them into your diet. And you will see your mouth will remineralize literally the enamel using plant extracts, which have all these vibrational energies already infused in them from nature. It's amazing.
And will that eventually, so re-enamels and then it'll just start to naturally push out the fillings that are there?
I don't know about naturally pushing those out because those are literally like a stain on concrete, which is porous. It goes down into the porous parts of your teeth. We actually recommend everybody around the world, and I've done this for the last 20 something years with all my kids, spouse, you name it. They only see biological dentists. None of my kids have ever had a silver filling, ever. Biological dentists do not use amalgam, and they don't use porcelain-based caps or crowns. They use ceramics, and they know how to get around that. And then they also take precautions on exhuming dental fillings that are laced with mercury and other toxic metals out of the body safely. So biological dentistry is what you need to be looking for. But the main principle and message here is this. You've been lied to that your enamel and bone density cannot be repaired with your teeth. Yes, it can. It's been done for over 100 years now, and there are people all over the world doing it. Just use plant extracts that remineralize bone, and they can do it. There just happened to be a dentist named Royal Lee who created a product in 1929 called Biodent to actually restore the normal mineral load to the mouth to actually improve. This is not a joke. What he discovered is if he fed a mom and a dad Biodent and the minerals from those plants, it would improve the alignment of all future generations of their children's teeth, where they wouldn't need orthodontics as much if they just had those minerals. As we've become mineral deficient and eat artificial processed foods, what he discovered in the 1920s and 30s is our lower jaws and upper jaws are shrinking, and it's creating crowding like you see with wisdom teeth. Those issues don't exist in underdeveloped countries. They eat all natural plants, all organic foods, animals, you name it, that aren't loaded with antibiotics and other crap. And that causes demineralization of their teeth. It causes demineralization of their bone, of their jaw, upper jaw, and then there's crowding of all your teeth. But these underdeveloped countries don't need dentistry, and they don't need orthodontics. We all do because we have very minerally depleted soils, and it's creating minerally deficient children and offspring with worse and worse teeth health and periodontal health.
So Biodent, get that going, and then go and see a natural dentist to exhume them, take them out, and then
Yes.
and then that will allow them to grow. Get rid of the
Exactly.
concrete stain, and then let
Just
them
like
grow. Okay.
Yeah, and just remember this, right? What is teeth made of? Bone. Have you ever broken a bone, Tom? Numbers? Broken a hand, a arm, a leg,
Yes.
foot? How long did it take for the body to heal the fracture? Was it 1
Yeah.
week? Was it 1 week?
No, about 6
2 weeks? Yeah, it's usually 8 to 12 weeks for any bone to heal. Well, if you've got a break in a bone or a hole in a bone, like in a cavity,
Yeah.
giving it 3 to 6 months to heal. That's how long it takes for a bone to replenish and remineralize itself. Remember, a broken bone is just remineralizing the gap in between the two broken pieces. The body knows how to lay down bone. It knows how to do it in your teeth also. So just give it what it needs. Magnesium's the biggest one. You need to reduce your calcium load, increase your magnesium intake. Magnesium carries calcium into bone. We are all magnesium deficient around the world. Everywhere I go, even this weekend at a car show, somebody walked up to me and goes, "You're that magnesium guy on that magnesium doctor on TikTok." Yes, I am. Magnesium carries calcium back into bone. Instead of teaching you and medical professionals how to reverse osteoporosis to reduce fractures and hip fractures, they tell you to take calcium. No, the more calcium you have, the less likely you have magnesium putting calcium into bone, and the calcium's building up in your bloodstream, leading to arthritic tendonitis, arthritis, where your ligaments and tendons are turning into bone because of excess calcium. That is only a sign you're deficient in magnesium. Please take magnesium. You can remineralize bone with it. You can remineralize teeth with it. You can actually strengthen your bone structure with it. That's what magnesium is designed for. Oh, and it's also on the periodic table of elements. Magnesium.
Magnesium.
Your body
Magnesium.
needs magnesium. Everybody.
Magnet. What would there was a question that I had with that in regards to yes. So I've been taking magnesium glycinate because another doctor online, Dr. Berger, I find his info helpful. Any other magnesiums that you would recommend?
Yes. So I have a magnesium complex actually, and in that magnesium complex is magnesium glycinate. It's 3 different forms of magnesium, and glycinate's one of the 3 in mine also. There is a form, I just want you to know there's multiple forms of magnesium, everybody. You'll see magnesium gluconate, magnesium glycinate, magnesium threonate, magnesium oxide, magnesium orotate. I will just speak here to people with neurological disabilities or neurological dysfunction, dementia, you name it. Even cardiovascular issues like tachycardia, AFib, enlarged heart, you are magnesium deficient. And you need to stop taking calcium supplements, and you need to start taking at least 1,000 milligrams of magnesium. Magnesium orotate is a version that helps with a lot of neurological issues. What's another example besides neurodegenerative? What about restless leg syndrome, which is involuntary contractions of your legs and calves that wakes up so many people? Those people, that's a neurological issue created by a lack of magnesium. So magnesium orotate, we often find, crosses the blood-brain barrier faster than other forms. It doesn't mean the other forms don't work. It just has been proven to be able to get absorbed really quickly through the blood-brain barrier to assist the healing of neurological issues, like neuropathies, like restless leg syndrome, like depression, like anxiety. Magnesium actually reverses anxiety disorders and calms the nervous system down. So those are just some examples. Magnesium orotate for neurological stuff. Glycinate's a great one. Since the 1920s, so over 100 years now, they have been using a specific form of magnesium, and it works in 99% of all people to correct their magnesium deficiencies. And it's the cheapest form anywhere. And it's called magnesium citrate. And magnesium citrate is one of the 3 forms in my product. And if any of you are curious, well, they're talking about magnesium. What's a healthy amount of magnesium? In the 1920s, scientists figured out a formula of an amount for every human on Earth to figure out how much magnesium they need every day for the rest of their life at a minimum. Would you like me to give your audience the actual formula?
Yes, please, doctor.
If any of you are going to start supplementing magnesium, this is the amount for you and anybody else you know. You take your weight in pounds and convert it into kilograms. So in the UK, if y'all all talk in kilograms anyway, you just take your kilogram amount and you're going to multiply your weight in kilograms. For those of you outside of the UK and in America, we do it in pounds. You take pounds and you divide it by 2.2 pounds to get a kilogram amount of your weight. You need the kilogram amount. So in America, English people, in America, you're going to do your weight in pounds divided by 2.2 pounds. That'll give you your kilograms. All of you in England, it's your kilogram amount. You multiply your kilograms times 10.6 milligrams. That is the number and the amount of milligrams of magnesium you should be consuming and swallowing every day for the rest of your life in order to prevent heart disease, strokes, high blood pressure, insomnia, constipation, cancers, osteoporosis. That's the amount of magnesium to prevent all of that. And yes, you can get it at the Dr. Ardis Show. Yes, you can get it in lots of other places. Magnesium is actually responsible for over 2,000 functions in the human body.
Magnesium, magic, magnitude, magnify. Are there any risks if you take it a bit over that? Like I've got a magnesium glycinate and there's 100 milligrams pure. Sorry, 1,000 units pure.
Good.
I've been working on just getting well over different things and upgrading. So I've been taking a couple of them a day. Is that too much for me?
Very good. All right. So I weigh 200 pounds. When you do my formula,
Yeah.
200 pounds into kilograms times 10.6 milligrams, it's 963 milligrams. And I do 1,000 milligrams every day. Okay. So what's right for you? And how do you know if it's too much? Even if you do the formula, I think I'm taking too much. Well, okay, it's fine. You might be eating a whole lot of vegetables that have a lot of magnesium. If you're eating a whole bunch of spinach every day and you're making sure you're getting it, that's got lots of magnesium. And if you're doing 1,000 milligrams supplemented, every human being on earth will absolutely have a symptom that will tell them you now have taken more than you need. Do you know what that symptom is?
Diarrhea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diarrhea. So they call it, in science, this is what they say in medicine. They say, take magnesium and vitamin C until bowel tolerance. That
Yeah.
means start low dose and increase every single day until you get diarrhea. That's bowel tolerance is just below there. Your body's bowels behave normally at just below that amount that gives you diarrhea. And then they tell you take that much vitamin C, that much magnesium every day the rest of your life. That's how you figure it out. So you can't, it's not real risk. Your body just relaxes so much with magnesium. Magnesium is a muscle relaxing mineral. Your anal sphincter is a muscle. Your intestines are muscles. If you put too much in there, it all relaxes. And guess what you get? You don't get formed stools, you get diarrhea.
Yeah.
It's all relaxing and everything's passing faster. So you just back it down 100 milligrams the next day until you stop seeing diarrhea. Then you know that's the amount for you. It's perfect. Now I have it for you in about 1 minute. I'm gonna have to jump on. So we've done a good job for an hour and a half, which has been fun. I've loved it.
I was going to say, and that can be that 1,000 milligrams can be of the 3 different types of magnesium you mentioned. Exactly. I noticed with potassium citrate, I was taking that, and if I did too much of that, I'd get the runs. But you know, one question before you go, Dr. Brian. Hammer toe. I grew up playing soccer. I injured my toe. I broke my big toe, and then the one next to it has always been like a hammer. How can we get rid of that in terms of remineralization or anything else?
Very good. So you got hammer toes and you have trigger fingers, where fingers will be locked down like this. You'll see some real post athletes and some older people will have a finger that just won't extend. Yeah. I have to tell you something. People around the world have told me they were told they had to have surgery in order to loose these joints, toes and fingers. It might be worth trying. I've had hundreds of people around the world walk up to me and say, my finger used to be stuck like this. My toe used to be stuck like this. I put a 1 milligram nicotine patch like you taught us in your shows. And within 48 hours, I have full range of motion. Congratulations. That's the anti-inflammatory effect of nicotine. So you might want to try it. However, if you broke a joint and it fused crooked, that isn't going to fix it. Surgery will be the only thing that's going to do that. So there are times that surgery is warranted. It's been throughout eons of history. You can find Mayan and Aztec ruins where they were doing brain surgery thousands of years ago. There are times surgeons have been required. If it's not a broken bone that is now fused into hard bone, I would use nicotine first. Make sure you're taking your adequate amount of magnesium to reverse the calcification of the ligaments and tendons that are keeping it restricted. And you should see over time that loosen up. Also, there are paraffin wax baths or tubs. And if you take a joint that is frozen and you put it in there and follow the recommendations of how to use a paraffin wax bath, you can almost reverse any frozen joint in a digit, hands, fingers, and toes, using a paraffin wax bath. And just follow the recommendations on the actual device. I have seen many, many thousands of people reverse their hammer toes, their trigger fingers, using paraffin wax baths with heat. Remember, all you're doing is heating up the ligaments, and they need to be relaxed and made more elastic, and heat does that. It makes them expand and become looser. Perfect. And you don't have to do it forever. You just do it for a few months.
Wow. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Well, Dr. Brian, it's been fascinating, and I've loved going into the science and going elsewhere as well in the cosmos. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you. Thank you just before you go, where can people find you again?
Yeah, please go to thedrardisshow.com. Go watch The Antidote. You learn the numbers here, people. Watch that, and then make sure you get the book, Moving Beyond COVID Lies. It's on Amazon. It's all over the place. And there's also an Audible version now, which is exciting. And then that yours truly recorded. Supposedly people really like it. It's good. And then thehealingfortheages.com. And if you ever are just like checking out fact-checking websites, you can find all my articles being fact-checked around the world by all these different fact-checking outfits. So you can find all kinds of stuff everywhere. It's great.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you, Dr. Brian.
Thank you, Tom.